XRP becomes the most traded altcoin in all of 2023. However, they have erased 50% of their gains. Cheesy DZ, I should say, in the gang. We're going to break it down on Around the Blockchain. I don't know why I did that. Everybody, thank you for joining, everybody. Please hit that like button. We're going to have a fantastic show. If that was any indication, don't worry. If it was a good indication, we're going to keep going. If it was a bad one, we're doing a 180. We have some great guests today, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. On the bottom left, we have Randi holding it down, and she is ready. We're going to talk XRP, Kucoin, and Stan Lee NFTs. Randi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me. Everyone, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Let's get after it.
Go ahead and hit it. Also on today, yes. Also, I should say my terrarium brother. It is Firoz Khan. And yes, we both made some terrariums over the weekend. Maybe we'll show it at the end of the show, but you have to stay tuned till the end to make sure you see that. How are you doing, Firoz?
I'm doing good, my terrarium brother. Hi, I'm doing good.
All right. We're rolling with that now. Also on today, with the best pillow collection in crypto, it is Thinking Crypto. And he just put out a great video interviewing a CEO of, what was that company again, Thinking Crypto?
PolySign and Standard Custody.
All right, check that out and get all the best alpha from his channel, and the links are going to be in the description below. But let's talk a little XRP. You know what? It probably wouldn't hurt. I'm going to go to the price as well. Let's see. We're going to click on XRP. We are currently trading at 70 cents, holding that support. Haven't gone down to 69. If you're in a short, that would be nice at least. But after an intense battle, it has been dominating the trading markets. All the trading volume seems to be going XRP's way, at least in the altcoin. Now, this is from Kucoin Analytics, and they're pointing out that XRP has actually even surpassed Bitcoin, folks, against 25 different centralized exchanges. Looks like XRP's trading volume has exceeded $150 billion, significantly outweighing all their competition. Looking at some other ones, the closest competitor is probably Solana at 100 billion. Doge, BNB, and Matic are all under 50. So XRP coming in $150 billion. But the re-enlistment back on various exchanges likely tied to the volume we're seeing there. And it's everybody, it's the exciting thing, has all the attention at the moment. So, well, let's see. Randi, you know, first, what are your feelings on XRP? Do you have a favorable or unfavorable view here?
I think I'm in favor of freedom of choice. So if you want to take part in XRP, you want to be a part of that ecosystem, then I say go for it. XRP your heart away. Do I like their mission of CBDCs and cross-border payments using their platform, and they're teaming up with central banks to create private networks, which is the opposite of why we're in crypto, is to have transparency, peer-to-peer payments with no intermediaries. That I'm not the biggest fan of. But again, freedom of choice. So that's my opinion.
All right. Well, that's a good answer. Now, leading up to the next bull run, will the upcoming wave, that fresh wave of retail and even the people dusting off that old Coinbase account, will it be enough to propel XRP? Can it continue to hold top 10 status as we go into the next cycle?
I think especially with the drama with the SEC relisting on a bunch of different exchanges, of course, I think it could probably stay in the top 10 as long as they keep creating those partnerships. If you've been hearing right after the SEC ruling, banks have been stepping in saying, hey, we're still okay with using XRP. Some banks have been experimenting with the network since 2021, but didn't want to say anything officially until a ruling happened. So I do think there's going to be more partnerships already pre-ruling. We saw other central banks, like I mentioned before, teaming up with XRP to create these private networks. I think definitely the ground floor is kind of laid out for XRP. There's already a big community there. People talk about it. It has the social media engagement, it has the marketing, which is also a big thing to attract new investors. So definitely set up for the next bull run to do some big things, probably.
All right, and the Biomex just gave you a shout out. They just watched your yesterday's video on the Twitter and X. They think you did a great job there. All right, well, Firoz, I'm looking at, let's pull up their market cap. So, you know, we're saying top 10. Well, it's actually just broke into the top 5. It looks like, you know, they have passed Doge, Cardano, Lido Staked Ether, and recently just passed USDC. You see here, $36 billion market cap compared to 26. They're flirting with the next competitor at 37 billion. That is BNB. So 36.9, 37.1. You know, it just recently got surpassed by BNB. But I want to ask you about the next one on the list. That is Ethereum A lot of maxis are saying XRP is even going to surpass Bitcoin. I'm not going to ask you. To me, that's a little lofty, a little maybe unrealistic, certainly unrealistic. Well, let me ask you about Ethereum. Is there any chance XRP can surpass Ethereum when it comes to market cap?
I genuinely don't think so. I mean, even now with all that bullish news that we've had, we certainly weren't going to be expecting to see some sort of pump. I mean, a pump would be to even get us to half of Ethereum's market cap. It'd have to be a 13x from where we are from here today, right? And we're not even anywhere near there. Now, again, once we get into the next bull cycle, sure, we have more money coming in. We see the overall crypto market cap increasing, and sure, that flows back into other cryptos. Do I see it taking over Ethereum? Most likely not. Ethereum, I would say, most probably is going to start flirting somewhere between, I would say, $7,000 and $10,000. And again, that's going to be at least another, say, 4 to 5x from where we are now. I generally don't see. And then at that point, XRP is going to have to do multiples. Even a 13x from here would put XRP at around $100 billion market cap, which would be around $10, right? So I personally feel that's really where we're going to see more or less the top of around XRP going into next cycle, maybe a little bit north of that, but certainly not overthrowing Ethereum. The other thing we need to bear in mind also is that as we go into the next bull cycle, we're going to get new narratives coming out. We're going to see all that degen, wonderful stuff coming in, and people are going to be going crazy on the Ethereum network. And given we have EIP, whatever that number was before that ultimately turns Ethereum deflationary, the more people that start going crazy into the old memes and all the other stuff that happens on dexes and whatnot, that's going to start ultimately pushing the price of Ethereum up as well. The gas fees are going to go up. So I think there's a lot to compete against. Certainly XRP has a great OG crew behind it, but certainly not strong enough to start overtaking Ethereum.
Yeah,
it did once, but it ain't going to happen again.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, good point there. It did do it once. One more point for that. BMX, the Biomex for the host with the most ATB is gold because of DZ. BMX, you stay gold, pony boy. All right, thinking crypto, I want to pull up the price chart here. This is just the last 30 days. In fact, I might be able to do it with the last 14 days. Yeah, I could do it the last 14 days. You saw, all right, SEC rolling off to the races. We are way up there. We are right around 47 cents. Went up to about 83, 84 cents. Well, after 84, we jumped a little over 30 cents there. We almost erased half of the gains at one point. We've rebounded a little bit. We fell from 84 all the way down to 67. That's a 17 cents decrease. Again, like I said, erasing about half of the gains that we got after the SEC case. Where does this end, or was that the end? Are we going to erase 100% of the gains? Is there any possibility of that?
No, I don't think so. I think there was so much pent up demand for XRP after that lawsuit against Ripple. And then Ripple coming out with a victory, you had this massive move upwards, right? So XRP on the smaller micro time frame hit the overbought scenario. So it had to pull back. And then you had Bitcoin just consolidating, moving sideways, chopping between 29 and 31,000. So the market's been pretty boring, after that Ripple news. So we're waiting for Bitcoin to move, and then the alts are going to follow. That's been how things have operated. And I just want to add a quick note about XRP and ETH, because I was here in 2018, 2019 when XRP and ETH were battling for that number 2 spot. So it's certainly possible that XRP could surpass ETH. Can it hold it is the question. I don't think so. I think ETH has a first mover advantage. There's so much going on in the network. It would take a lot more adoption for XRP to move to permanently have that number 2 spot.
All right. And we do have a super sub. If you are a super sub, your name glows green like Bruce Banner. It pops out a little bit more. Flat Smack, one of the big fans here. I see new all-time lows for XRP in the future. I'm assuming he means after the 2018 high. I'm going to go around the board. I'm going to start with you, Thinking Crypto. Do you see new all-time lows for XRP?
In the coming bull market?
Just anytime, ever.
I think possibly in the next bear market, depending on what
next bear potential.
Yeah, okay. what the scenario may be. But look, I think if XRP held a top 10 position with a lawsuit, delisted from exchanges, just think about that. I think a lot of other coins would have been wiped out. It stayed in the top 10, and now it has the clarity. I don't think we're hitting some new all-time lows. I think it's building a higher floor, and we're going to see new all-time highs.
All right, I pulled up the chart. We're just going to go from, say, the 2020 lows around 15 cents. I think it actually got closer to 12 or even 13. Feroz, can we put in a new all-time low?
I don't think we'd have to see something drastic happen, in all honesty, towards the end of the year. Maybe a full-blown recession or whatever kicks in. Then that will naturally just have a push down on price on many things. So you could see it naturally progress lower as Bitcoin sort of trades lower. But I don't think in any way that we're going to see new term all-time lows, to be honest.
All right,
New
Flashback laying
all-time
out the
lows.
scenario. Ripple could go out of business. Rudy Poo, another super sub, he says that's a comedy question. He is in stitches. He's grabbing his side. Randy, where are you? Is this laughable or is this plausible?
I mean, listen, there's so many things at hand here because if you look at who likes Brad Garlinghouse, it's the World Economic Forum. So you have a lot of people internationally, central banks, all of these other types of people that obviously are invested. They're probably just not telling you. But all of these major institutions, World Economic Forum, for them to have such a profile, if you look on their website for Ripple, how much it does, how much it represents, it would be hard to imagine Ripple reaching or XRP reaching new lows. However, if there becomes a time where people really aren't a fan of what they're doing, not a fan of their mission, then that could deteriorate the whole community from the inside out. Like we've seen a lot of projects that have maybe been at the top at one point that really aren't here anymore because people didn't align with their goals and what it was doing. So I don't know. I think anything's possible.
Don't talk about Namecoin like that. All right, let's talk about Kucoin, though. Let's switch gears a little bit. I'm going to pull up the Kucoin price chart. This is KCS, or Kucoin shares. I don't even know if they even call it that anymore, but KCS token coming in at, share sounds too much like you own equity in the company, is my guess. $5.73. If we look at the all-time chart, we did put in an all-time high, close to $30, above $25. We've now retraced about 80 cents. Did put in a new all-time high in the second bull market. However, wait a minute, did put in a second all-time high in the November highs for Bitcoin, matching a lot of the exchanges that were pumping at the time, though. But this is following a March lawsuit from Letitia James. She's a New York attorney general, made some names for herself. She's came after a lot of high-profile people, including Trump. She went after Trump Foundation. She's gone after some people on the left as well. So she's all over the place. She's got a scattergun effect when it comes to prosecuting. But they announced plans. KuCoin just announced plans to lay off 30% of their staff. They're axing about a third of all the employees there. Speculation has been going, say their requirements to have cut in their profits over the past few months as, regulations and uncertainty across the spectrum, as well as the bear market lows for trading volume. The CEO, though, did have a response, one saying this is just routine adjustment of personnel, but his quote, "We regularly evaluate our organizational structure based on performance and development. So it is not layoffs. It is all about making us more dynamic and competitive." Well, Randy, do you currently use KuCoin? What are your thoughts on KuCoin? I mean, how would you rate it as an exchange, say, compared to a Coinbase?
I like Kucoin. I think it has a diverse amount of coins on there that I wouldn't be able to typically find on Coinbase. The only thing I think I have to worry about now is the KYC. However, I think Coinbase is more approachable for the everyday newbie that's entering the space that just wants a button that says buy, sell, balance, this, that. Where if you go on KuCoin, it's a little bit more advanced. You're seeing charts. You're like, do I do spot? How do I trade this? There's a bunch of different types of way to trade the coins and look at the charts, which is intimidating for some people, as well as like the moving on and off of the exchange. Sometimes it's a little weird with how you withdraw cash, or are you switching from this crypto to the other? If you're swapping, that's a whole other thing as well. So I think it's less approachable, but I think it was pretty smooth in how efficient it was and how fast everything moved. And even when I was transferring crypto from one place to the other, it was always very timely for KuCoin. So I got to give them credit for that. Sometimes you go on exchanges, you get a little bit nervous.
Yeah. All right. I do have a message for Kent Parrish. He called me the dummy, DZ the dummy. I did say top 10. I meant top 5 for XRP. So I take it back. Please let me back in your parish, Kent. I apologize profusely here. All right. Well, let's see. Feroz, KuCoin has shrugged off a lot of woes, a lot of uncertainty in the market. It shrugged off the Terra Luna collapse. It was able to handle the FTX fiasco. Do you think KuCoin can survive the upcoming uncertainty by European Central Bank, American regulators? Will KuCoin be here 5 years from now?
I sure hope so, because in full transparency, I have KCS, so I do want it to be here.
Same. Yeah, there's full transparency. I do have some staking since 21, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I think with KuCoin, they're keeping up with the times. Let's be honest here, right? They're doing away with KYC. Why are they doing away with KYC? Because they want to operate, in regions where there is a need for strict KYC and AML procedures. So again, I get it. Some people don't like KYC. I generally don't mind. At the end of the day, I don't really have an issue, especially if I want to ramp out funds, onto my own bank account, because not everybody accepts crypto in the real world just quite yet. So I certainly feel that they will be around. And again, I can't recall, as far back as I can go, and I suppose we're just going back to 2016. Is if there's ever been a time where there's been any sort of major shady practices, where there's been any super FUD around KuCoin specifically, around the way they do their dealings, around the way they're working, etc. I can't recall any of that. I don't see any of that either. They certainly don't have any type of Sam Bankman-Frieds in their organization. So from that perspective, I certainly do feel that KuCoin will be here in 5 years' time. I do hope so, DC. I really do.
Yeah, and if you recall, they kind of had a mini bank run as well, as everybody was pulling off at the same time, and they seemed to handle it as well. Stick basically did name me correctly, derailing ZEZ. I would say that's pretty accurate there. All right, well, thinking crypto, you heard 30% of their staff has just been laid off. When you heard 30%, did that make you pucker up a little bit? And if not, what is your number where you hear that and you say, maybe everything isn't okay?
Look, I last year, Coinbase laid people off. Gemini laid people off, right? A lot of crypto companies let people go because of the bear market and the economy and the down markets overall and the Fed raising rates. However, KuCoin doing this now, I believe, is a red flag, because the price of the crypto assets have been rallying, and this is a time where you should be making more money than you were last year, one could argue. So the timing is a red flag, because you don't hear other crypto companies laying off people right now. They were doing it last year. KuCoin, to Firoz's point, hasn't had any type of history of fraud or any type of situations that seem fishy. However, as always, verify. Don't trust, verify. You should custody your own crypto. You can use them to buy your crypto, sell your crypto, but self custody, because we don't know what's happening behind the doors of these exchanges. And one of the things I would probably want to see is, do they have a proof of reserves, a Merkle tree audit? Because those things will at least let us know their books are in order.
Okay. And to be fair, I've used it for years. It survived a bank run. If I had to predict, I would say it would probably be here 5 years from now. But folks, this is crypto. Anything could happen. It might not be here 5 hours from now, although low odds that happens. All right, well, let's switch gears, and it's web slinging time. It's X-Man time. It is Stan Lee time. Let's talk a little Stan Lee. It's Stan Lee's NFTs. They just dropped 8,000 on Vivi. This was they just went on sale and nearly instantaneously sold out. I think it was within seconds. Well, he co-created. Who is Stan Lee, you might be wondering? Well, he co-created some of the best, that's my opinion, some of the most iconic and popular Marvel characters around. I pulled up a list. Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man. He did Thor. He did the X-Men. He did Black Panther. He did many, many more. So he's, at the helm of that, along with Jack Kirby and a couple other people. But Cartoon Studios is the firm behind the drop, and they own a controlling interest in the Stan Lee Universe LLC. A lot of his legacy is tied to that. And they teamed up with Vivi, who has previously worked with Disney and Marvel. So looks like there's some connections there. But of the 8,000, just over 1,000 were labeled secret rare. As of this morning, if you minted that NFT, I think it costs around $15. Your gain right now, you're up 5,000%. But you might be asking, that's only the rare ones. There's only 1,000 of those. Well, what if I minted the common one, the crappy one, the most basic Stan Lee? He's just on a toilet with some toilet paper. Well, then you're up 240%. So even if you got the most common, everybody is up at the moment. And Cartoon, together with PAL, owns the global rights to Stan Lee's likeness, physical likeness, his name, Stan Lee's voice, and Stan Lee's signature, and any kind of, I'm assuming, 3D modeling that's going to be used with any of those things. So a lot of stories here. Let's actually pull up the NFTs. If you want to see it, these are what they look like. I'm guessing that's the amazing Stan Lee. This is the uncommon. This is Excelsior. This is the ultra rare, which is really the common. This is kind of the uncommon. This is the rare one coming in. He says, this is the rare one. Hey, he's sitting, he's chilling. He looks like he's ready to play some Wii bowling. And then this is the ultra rare. It's the Nuff said. And, they all have like a little phrase associated with them. But let's just talk about the using his likeness after death. Randi, how do you feel about Stan Lee's likeness being used to sell digital collectibles?
I think it was always inevitable. Like, I think everybody's going to be tokenized. I think every brand is going to be tokenized. So Stan Lee doesn't surprise me. I know it is post-death, which makes me feel like a little sad about it because Stan Lee didn't get to design these himself. It's not him that's actually putting them out. It's just people that own his likeness. I do think it's cute. I think it's cute art. I do think, obviously, it's something that gives Stan Lee himself, I think, more longevity in the future. I mean, that's a VV enables transfers out to like something like MetaMask, which I don't even think they do yet, VV, which is a little bit of like slightly a red flag for me. I love self-custody. I'm a big proponent of that. So not being able to move your NFTs and you got a KYC to take your 5,000% profits is really a lot. It's just like, NFTs are supposed to be more free, but I do think eventually maybe they'll get their VV, and what they're doing I think is kind of cool for adoption, and it attracts some new people in to say, hey, what's this? What's Stan Lee doing now? Because of course there's so many Marvel people that are just diehard fans. Every time there's a new Spider-Man movie, anytime there's anything Marvel, there's such a community for it. So I think this could definitely attract some new people.
All right, we got some super subs. Flat Smack, RIP Stan Lee. I agree with you. Crypto Seth, how you doing? With the super sub there, and Afeni super sub, Black Mirror, anyone? Yeah, looking a lot like that. Well, Firoz, I want to ask you, we see trends in crypto. Something's popular. Oh, we got to copy it with every iteration possible known to man. Are we about to see a dead celebrity meta? I threw out some names. Are we going to have Bob Marley, Marilyn Monroe, Tupac, Elvis? Who would you like to see? And is this the next NFT wave in 2 months?
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I mean, what was the recent wave? I think it was like racing hamsters or something that was like going a bit crazy recently, right?
Yeah.
And there was
all snails,
rats, hamsters, snails, right? So you got all of this stuff, and again, people are just going to jump off the bandwagon of this one, and you're going to start getting, the unfortunately the dead stars, dead celebrities coming up, and again, it's a moneymaker, right? There's an opportunity here. You get in early, you jump on. I personally think the NFT market's been a bit dead for a while, to be honest. So there really hasn't been anything major in the NFT space that's genuinely been shouting out at me to try and get into. I mean, where are we with the Bored Ape Yacht Club? All of these things, they had their run back in the height of the last bull market, but again, now their floors are very low. But again, with the NFT scene, we see it with everything. NFTs, whether it's NFTs or whether it's a new crypto project coming out, there's always an opportunity to have variations and just to try and ride some of that hype, which is what we'll continue to see, I suspect. So yeah, 100%. Definitely see it coming out.
Tupac and Biggie already in NFT form. Good point. Those the NFT photos of Biggie, then Tupac also. But Tupac's in Puerto Rico, folks. I don't know what you're talking about. Feroz, can you think of any who would you want an NFT of? I'm trying to think. Bob Marley be pretty cool. Abe Lincoln. I want an Abe Lincoln. Any name you could think of? Dead celebrity here.
You know what? No, you know what? Well, I wouldn't say dead celebrity, but I think Gandhi would be a pretty decent one to do, actually.
Yeah. The parts where he beats his wife. That part. Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to go there. Look, Gandhi's not all fluffs and butterflies, folks. Okay. That being said, I'm sure he did impacted a lot more good than bad, and a lot of it was his relatives giving the Gandhi name a bad one. Sorry, Gandhi family. I didn't mean to be disrespectful to your deity there. All right. Now thinking crypto. Let's talk about IP law at the moment, because I was looking into current IP law. Right now, it's different ways it works. After the publisher's death, give it about 70 years, you can do something with the likeness, or a maximum of 120 years. Catcher in the Rye is about to be, in public domain. I think some Winnie the Pooh characters, also Eeyore and Tigger, I think are going to be in the public domain soon. Well, how do you feel about IP, public domain? Should that apply to people and their likenesses as well? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's like a whole can of worms opening up here with NFTs and the metaverse and people's likeness. It depends on certainly if permission is given. And you mentioned like some folks who own Stan Lee's rights and they can create the NFTs. Well, what if one day I'm gone and someone tries to use my likeness? I don't know if I would want that, right? And can my family fight on my behalf to have that stopped or own the rights? So there's going to be a whole plethora of laws and regulations, I think, put into place with this and with NFTs and the ability to create the likeness of folks, a la Tupac and holograms and NFTs. It's a brave new world, but also opens up a lot of problems. And we're going to have the regulations and the guardrails in place.
Any names you would like to see, in your digital wallet?
Man, when you guys are talking about it, I thought of Einstein, and also, look, what would have been fascinating, Oppenheimer, the movie that's out right now. Imagine having an Oppenheimer NFT or likeness or whatever it is to accompany that movie. I think that's going to be the future.
I'm actually going to share a just quick fact about Einstein. I found this pretty fascinating. I know this is DZ derailing everything, but guys, this is the end of the episode, and we're going to learn something fun here. Einstein, upon his death, if we could just share this. Well, one, he had an issue with smoking. At the age of 69, he underwent surgery for aneurysm in his abdominal area. However, it worsened. Moving forward here, it looks like studies shown that smoking is the major risk factor. More than 80% of sufferers were heavy smokers. His doctors, Einstein's doctor, said, hey, Albert, you got to quit smoking. But then he left the hospital after surgery with a pipe in his hand as if he didn't care. He didn't know he was that based. To make it worse, he then became a member of the Montreal Pipe Smokers Club, completely defying the doctor's instructions. And then after 7 years later, he had the ruptured vessel. I want to go when I want to go. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. Here's the last part, though. When he passed away, his last words were lost because the nurse at his bedside did not understand German. How crazy is that, folks? I was reading chat. My two favorite from chat. What dead celebrity do you want to see in your MetaMask? Spinning around in 3D. Kobe. Someone put in Black Mamba. I think Kobe's a great choice. And Michael Jackson. I would love a moonwalking Michael. Not Neverland in his bedroom with ... I'm separating the art from the artist. I just want to see him moonwalking, folks. What's so funny about that, guys? I don't find that funny. I'm glad you do. Who doesn't find it funny? Randi, because she's serious, and that seriousness carried her to victory. So, Randi, please let us know a celebrity you'd like to see, and please leave us with your parting thoughts.
I think probably Mac Miller or Avicii, because their music was really good, and I feel like they really could have continued on and created some great things. But thank you guys for having me. Make sure you guys follow everybody on the panel, smash dislike on this video, and catch me every morning at 9:30 a.m. for the Daily Zest. I'll see you tomorrow on YouTube. Thank you, guys. Stay
all
zesty.
Right. Chris Farley, great one. Einstein, okay. Yeah, Tony Montana. Hey, now Al Pacino's still kicking, folks. What are you talking about? All right, that's all we got. Leave it in the comment section. What NFT do you want to see spinning around in your MetaMask? I'm still going with MJ. I just want the gloved hand rotating, folks. Clean glove. All right, that's all we got. Until next time, make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you check out everyone's links below. Follow their content. Until next time, DZ out.